Imagine waking up tomorrow to a bank account overflowed with more money than you could spend in a lifetime. Whether it is an unexpected inheritance or a sudden stroke of luck, a massive influx of capital feels like the ultimate freedom. But history tells a terrifyingly different story. Over 70% of people who suddenly come into massive wealth are completely broke again within 3 to 5 years. Why? Because they have never built the psychological stamina required to hold wealth. They have the urge to spend, but zero understanding of how to sustain. Sudden money can either be a generational blessing or an immediate curse. If the universe hands you a fortune, here is exactly how you survive it. First, absolute silence. The very second you find out your life has changed, shut your mouth. Zip it. The primal human instinct is to share good news, to shout it from the rooftops, to stick it to your enemies, or to validate your worth to your peers. Resist it. This emotional urge is a poverty-minded trap. The moment you broadcast your wealth, you surrender your privacy, and you paint a massive target on your back. Silence is your shield. Privacy is your new currency. You can tell people when the time is right, and honestly, that time is rarely now. Second, erase the past. The first and only immediate action you should take with your new capital is to completely wipe out your existing debt. Clear the credit cards, eliminate the student loans, and pay off the mortgages. Debt is a silent parasite that eats away at peace of mind. Erase it entirely, and then freeze. Do not create new debt. It is incredibly easy to fall into the illusion that because you have millions, a new luxury line of credit won't hurt. It will. Kill the old debt and refuse to build a new cage. Third, keep going to work. It sounds completely counterintuitive, but do not quit your day job yet. Walking away from your employment the moment money hits your account is the first domino in a psychological spiral toward bankruptcy. Human beings are fundamentally wired for productivity. No matter how much you claim to love leisure, total stagnation breeds destructive behavior. If you do not have a structured day, you will spend your time chipping away at your fortune just to feel something. The beauty of wealth isn't quitting. It's the shift in power. You no longer work out of desperation. You work with the absolute power to walk away if you choose. Keep your routine while your mind adapts. Fourth, the 6-month freeze. Once your debt is paid, let the rest of the money sit completely untouched. It is not the money that needs to rest. It is your psychology. You are still the exact same person you were yesterday, carrying the same impulsive desires and unfulfilled wishes. If you act immediately, you will overcompensate for every financial lack you've ever felt. Force yourself to wait 6 months before making any major lifestyle changes. During these 180 days, your initial manic excitement will cool. Your perspectives will shift, and the reckless plans you have today will evolve into mature strategies. Fifth, educate your mind before you move your money. A fool and his money are soon parted, because wealth requires a completely different language than survival. If you have never managed large sums, you are financially illiterate by default. You must invest heavily in your own knowledge before you invest in the market. Learn how compounding works, understand tax structures, and study asset protection. If you don't take the time to understand the mechanics of wealth, you will either make reckless mistakes or allow predatory individuals to completely strip you of your assets. Sixth, honor existing expertise. If your sudden wealth came via inheritance, it is highly probable that a financial advisor or management team was already attached to that capital. Do not change them. The proof of their competence is literally sitting in your bank account. New money often makes people arrogant. They fire the expensive, seasoned professionals to hire a friend or a cheaper alternative. This is a fatal mistake. True financial experts are expensive because they protect you from your own worst impulses. Keep the guardrails that built the fortune in the first place. Seventh, elevate your comfort, not your class. There is a massive psychological difference between being comfortable and trying to look rich. It is perfectly fine to pay off your home or upgrade your living space, but do not immediately pack up and move into a hyper-exclusive, ultra-wealthy neighborhood. Elite properties carry catastrophic recurring costs, astronomical property taxes, specialized maintenance, and elite WA fees. This introduces a heavy layer of recurring overhead that can drain a fortune faster than you realize. Similarly, do not buy a fleet of exotic cars for your relatives. Cars are depreciating liabilities that rot away in driveways. Fix your life. Do not try to completely reinvent it overnight. 8th, the art of saying no to family and friends. Eventually, the secret will get out. When people discover you have acquired unearned wealth, a dark side of human psychology emerges: entitlement. Friends and relatives will approach you with business ideas, tragic stories, or financial emergencies, expecting you to fix them. Understand this clearly. Money given to friends is money you will never see again. If you fund their ventures, you risk ruining the relationship when the business inevitably fails. If you refuse to give them money, they may resent you. Choose the latter. It is far better to deal with temporary resentment while keeping your financial safety net intact for your own future. Thief. Avoid the entrepreneurial illusion. We all have a fantasy of being the boss, sitting in a boardroom and steering a company to greatness. But the stark reality is that 90% of new businesses fail. You have already used up a staggering amount of luck simply acquiring this money. Do not rely on luck to run a business. Running an enterprise requires specialized execution, stress tolerance, and deep industry knowledge. Do not sink millions into a startup just because you can afford the entry fee. If you want to invest, start incredibly small and let professionals manage the risk. 10th, bracing for the target. Wealth changes your ecosystem. The more assets you accumulate, the larger the target on your back becomes. You become a magnet for frivolous lawsuits, sophisticated scams, and emotional manipulation. People will try to find leverage to separate you from your money. You might assume life becomes infinitely easier with wealth, but the truth is, while basic survival problems disappear, they are replaced by highly complex, deeply stressful psychological challenges. Protecting wealth is often harder than acquiring it. 11th, prioritize the ultimate asset. What good is a massive fortune if your body fails before you can enjoy it? True wealth provides the ultimate privilege: time and health. Use your resources to get a comprehensive medical checkup. Hire specialists to optimize your nutrition, physical health, and mental well-being. Wealth allows you to step away from toxic environments and buy back your health. Do not become a victim of the excess and indulgence that sudden money often tempts you with. 12th, master the 5% rule. You must psychologically accept that your lump sum of money is not an infinite pool. It is a single seed. If you keep scooping out of it, it will completely dry up. Instead, view your wealth as a tree. If you invest the principal wisely, it should yield a conservative 5% annual return. If you live strictly off that 5% interest and never touch the core principal, your wealth becomes immortal. You can eat the fruit of the tree every single year, but the moment you cut down the trunk for temporary firewood, your financial future dies. 13th, insulate the next generation. Sudden wealth can completely destroy the work ethic and ambition of your children. If they grow up knowing everything is provided for, they will likely never develop the resilience required to survive the real world. Protect them from the money. Set up legal structures like trusts that provide measured allowances or milestone-based payouts. Let the core investment grow untouched, ensuring that the wealth serves as a launchpad for their education and character, rather than a couch that breeds entitlement. 14th, protect your partnerships. This should be a baseline human standard, but sudden wealth tests relationships in extreme ways. When you have significant capital, the world reacts to you differently. Temptations multiply, and people will approach you with hidden motives. Mistakes under these circumstances are catastrophically expensive. A single moment of infidelity can cost you half of everything you own, followed by years of bitter legal battles and emotional ruin. Wealth should be used to fortify the foundation of your family, not tear it apart. 15th, play the game of safety. When you are already in an incredibly fortunate position, why take unnecessary risks? You have already won the game of financial security. You do not need to double your money in shady crypto schemes or aggressive real estate plays. Say thank you to the universe and play it completely safe. The most masterful way to handle sudden wealth is to live your life as if the event never even occurred, except that your debts are gone and your anxiety is minimized. The pendulum of reality. Always remember the universal law of equilibrium. Whenever an extreme amount of positive luck hits your life, the psychological pendulum is pulled hard to one side. If you lose your footing, that pendulum will swing back with equal violence. The key to keeping your fortune is balance. Maintain emotional equilibrium protect your peace, and remain grounded. Money is nothing more than a magnifying glass. It will simply make you more of who you already are. Make sure you are someone worth magnifying.